Coming to you live from the One More and I'm Out of Here / Illegal Shift Studios. We are back with another episode of the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. You're very, very excited to be here, Andrew.
Sorry, you excited?
Very. Oops. Oh, sorry. Something hit the desk.
That's great.
Very excited, Andrew.
Well, you know what? I'm excited that you're excited, Jason. This is it's an exciting day.
I enjoy this hobby that we participate in, and
it's
we've
fun
got
way,
a shit ton.
when we do, but it's, you know what? This is, people say, and you've probably been asked this way more because you've been doing it longer. But people say, why do you do this? It's kind of therapeutic.
Yeah,
don't you think?
I completely agree with that.
I mean, you get your emotions out, you get your thoughts out, and people can come up to you anytime, any place, anywhere, Kroger, wherever, post office, and they can talk to you. And I mean, I think it's awesome. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a public service because, we do the hard hitting stories that no one else wants to do.
try to piss everybody off.
Well, we try to keep the media, especially the local media. Maybe we try to hold them accountable. So, I think that because let's face it, what's going on with the media these days makes absolutely positively no sense. So, and we're going to discuss that. It's going to be kind of a common theme throughout the show today.
Yeah,
and
most definitely.
I just shake my head when we're the good old days with Walter Cronkite and reporters you could trust, and that's the way it was. And I mean, nowadays you don't even know what you see on TV is real. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I've become quite pessimistic, maybe even more so.
So
you got my Trump shirt.
So as you're,
look at that.
It's looking lovely.
Yeah. Not many people could fill that out.
So as you're watching the comments, difficult to look at pictures is Jonathan Bates, who helps us with our thumbnails and also is my co-host on Illegal Shift on Failure to Stop. And I got on his show the other night and was wearing his chats out because he wasn't paying attention. So I keep up with the chats a little bit here, John. So you've been in for about half a second and I see everything that you're writing and I love it. And I love you, just so you're aware.
You're full of love.
Yeah.
Oh, well, stay away
so
from
I knew he was going to fuck with me. I knew it was coming. But I appreciate everybody being here. David J, Will Cray.
I hope nobody reports this to the British police commissioner because did you see what they're doing over there?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. You say something bad on the internet and you get arrested. What in the absolute fuck, Andrew?
Yeah, Britain has, you better pay attention to what's going on here in the United States. And because you can look overseas and see what our future probably holds. So in Britain, and I shared a story about it today, but like the British police commissioner, like not London, I mean, but like some UK or police commissioner said that he even wants to check this out. So he wants to be able to extradite American citizens if they post something that incites, in his words, violence in the UK and hold us. He wants to come. Could you imagine you're sitting at your house and boom, 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 they come busting down, the bunch of Brits come busting down your door.
The bobbies.
Do they know we're armed?
Right.
Like they do. They might be in for a rude awakening. But yeah, Britain is lost, and I think a lot of people here in the United States need to wake up and pay attention because it's on the verge of happening here, in my very humble opinion.
Absolutely, no, I agree with that opinion as well. You have people that are just coming out of the woodwork with all of these, and we used the term right before we went live, radical ideas that think that shit's okay, and I mean that's not the way that we won our fucking independence. So you keep your shit over there. We'll keep our shit over here.
Well, there's a reason there was a revolution.
Exactly.
And we won, and we kind of kicked your ass. And if you'd like us to kick your ass again, come on over.
I got a shirt that Jill bought me with George Washington's face on it. It says stay strapped or get clapped. Probably George Washington.
Check this out. So my parents.
Oh my God.
My parents are trying to watch, and I'm getting messages from my dad.
How the fuck do I connect? That is fucking hysterical.
Yeah, so my dad's kind of technically challenged, so we'll see if they'll probably watch this not live, but we'll get him on there.
Yeah, we'll help them. We will tech support them.
I see we got a message and trying to hold the local media accountable, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Mad Mitch likes to write a bunch of really nasty and takes a really liberal bent on anything that happens in Forest Hills and carries the Democrat water quite a bit. And hopefully we can, look, I gave up on I don't know about you, but I gave up on the Inquirer eons ago. And the Inquirer has a horribly run politics page that is terribly moderated. It is full of just infested with leftists, and they attack like pack animals anybody that has a conservative opinion on there. And the reason I get upset at that page is because I think if you're gonna host a page on social media and you're not going to moderate it, then what's the point of having the page? Because people get nasty, and you should be able to moderate comments when they're going at each other or they're attacking somebody, or what's the word, doxing?
Yeah, doxing.
And they're the first ones. I found that Democrats and liberals are the first ones to complain of doxing, but they have absolutely no problem doxing you in return, whether it's contacting your place of business or people that you know, or sending postcards through the mail against a business. Hi, Capel. How you doing? How'd that work out for you? Right. Sorry about your personal life. I heard it sucks. But anyhow, look, I just get mad when I see that the editor of the Inquirer runs that page. I'm not going to mention it because I don't want anyone to go there. But if you're going to run a quote unquote politics page, you should at least pretend to try to be, and you're supposed to be a member of the quote unquote media, the print media. I think you should at least give some semblance of trying to be nonpartisan, or at least a little more fair than just have a let's attack conservatives page, right, which is what it should be called.
I think, and I think the term fair, I think that's perfect. I mean, you can have your beliefs in that, but allow both sides of the beliefs,
right?
To be
Don't
heard,
put your thumb on
heard, read, seen, seen, whatever.
Yeah, and we've seen, so here we are. Today is the 11th. Is it the 11th?
All day.
Yeah. Well, I'm just checking there, boss. It hasn't been 30 days since Donald Trump was shot. He was shot a month ago on the 13th. Okay. And it's not even in the press. I mean, it's not the stories. We don't know. 30 days ago, in 2 days, so 20. Carry the one. Anyway, so 20 something days ago. It's funny because we're going to talk about it tonight a little bit, and not that we're going to solve any. We're not going to solve the Rubik's Cube here, but God, I just want to see you trying to solve a Rubik's Cube for a second.
I take the stickers off and just put them all on one side.
But I mean, no one's discussing it, and we know very little about it. There's been no reports about it. It's like does it feel to you like it never happened?
It kind of does, and I understand there's investigations and they take time, right? And you got to get all the information. What information are we actually going to get when this investigation
when
and
the
this
report comes out?
What are we actually going to get?
Dude, I don't know.
And so you bringing that up, one of the things, while I was scrolling through the annals of the phone, saw the,
there was a lot of annals on the phone that I got. So yeah, thanks to you.
Yeah, I know. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that too.
But saw this video, and
it's kind of long, folks. So bear with it. It's a little bit.
And we are seeing stuff about it, but it's not jumping out right at the top of the page.
Well, it's not only that. We're seeing stuff. We're seeing videos posted, but we're not seeing anything being reported.
Correct.
All right. So you don't, to be fair, I don't know how you are, but I mean, I don't even trust, pictures I see or videos I see anymore because of deep fakes and everything else. Right. You gotta be very, very careful.
Yeah.
You could be spread misinformation and the British bobbies will come break your door down, but you don't know what to believe or what not to believe. But, so it would be nice if this was being reported maybe on Fox News, FAUX, how they like the faux news.
Well, and you saw the congressional hearings with the interim director Rowe, getting just blasted and granted, he stepped into Cheadle's role, but he was still in the upper echelon of the Secret Service. So still should have been in the know of some of this shit. But you're seeing that. And then after that congressional hearing was over, you really didn't see anything else from any high level administrators.
Nothing's come out, and it's frustrating because, like I said, you just don't know. It'd be nice if for example, how many little things have you seen about the overseas accounts? Okay, we've heard, and it could be bullshit.
Right.
But how hard is that just to verify there, a statement? There were no overseas accounts. This gentleman did not have overseas accounts.
Multiple phones
at
an FBI building.
Blah, 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 blah. People visiting him. Yeah. I mean, all this stuff I think doesn't do a democracy service. So I think that if they could respond to the maybe, and these people are monitoring what's on the internet. Could they have a, I know in Washington, D.C., especially with the Kamala campaign, press conferences are non-existent, but is it possible that Jean, what's her name?
I call her Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah.
Just like the drinking bros, dude. Jean-Luc Picard.
Jean-Luc. So maybe Jean-Luc can have a presser and,
I also call her Sideshow Bob. So
she's interesting. But, why can't we, and not that it's the job of the White House, but, the FBI could have a presser, or the Secret Service could have a presser, and say, "Hey, listen, just to squash some of this stuff that's not healthy for our republic, can we get this out of the way that we have not seen any evidence that there's this?" And yes, I get there's an investigation. I understand that completely. But if you see something that's clearly wrong, was the guy a lizard? Was he an alien?
Right.
I mean, what else are you going to see on the internet? So I just think it would be helpful. That's all.
I found this video and I found it amusing and interesting. It shows the lack of communication that everybody had
that you've discussed.
Everyone's been talking about.
Yeah. Is he hit? Is there a ladder? Is there a ladder there, Paul?
No, you get that board right there, brother. That's right up. Back up. Yes, he is.
Hey, someone on me.
Not confirmed. I need manpower.
Someone on me.
Right.
Hey, police stop. Police stop. A lady's been shot. Get up the river. I need a ladder. Step on that. Somebody said they see this happen.
I was waiting.
We need an ambulance for the cop. Give me those pallets.
Secure this. I got you. Whenever you're ready.
Get them out of here. Get them out. Yo, you put all of these rings down.
Next.
QRF on the roof. QRF on. I have witnesses that think he is down, but we have not confirmed.
Come on, dude.
Copy.
We got 4 on the roof right now. All right.
You can secure the rest of the area.
We got 4 on the roof. All right, come back now.
Okay, do we have a suspect in custody?
No.
Yes, we do.
His brain.
Yes.
Okay, I need a bunch of EMS.
I don't want to spend. No. Is he a shooter? Did he have a weapon? Is he? That was a report. That was a report.
And nobody's on that tower either.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's on
And
the
I
water.
copy you have one in custody.
You watch
Yeah,
some of the
one's on top of the HR building.
How he got off? I don't know.
Are you guys committed?
I have no idea.
Attack resource to the Butler Hospital.
Oh, was that pallet on top
We are
there? And I didn't see it?
on
Where
with
they put that
body.
pallet on? I'd have to go back and look.
Well, body's a good. That's a good word.
We're towards the farm
I
shop.
told them they need to post the guy over here. I told them that the Secret Service. I told them that Tuesday.
Yep.
I told them to post guys over here.
I have no contact with either one.
What? No, we're inside.
Alpha 1, Bravo 1. Hickey.
I told him to post guys over here.
I wasn't even concerned about it because I thought someone was on the roof. I thought that's how we. Like, how can you lose a guy walking back there?
They were
on the roof.
They were inside.
So the main reason, and right there at the end,
That was the main reason.
that was the main reason is they told them Tuesday to have somebody there, and these are locals, right? That when you have these meetings with your local law enforcement and Secret Service, you know, you're in briefings getting ready for these events.
Right.
Every fucking event has these, you know, incident action plans that are put out. And the fact that nobody did anything with it is just astounding to me. And, you know, the Secret Service isn't being held in a very good light right now.
That's a shame too, because like I said, I was when I was growing up and meeting a lot of them even here recently, but you know, I've always held them in the highest regards because, you know, they were the ultimate consummate professionals. And sadly they're being tarnished, and it's things like this, like the video you just showed where the officer's saying, I told them, the Secret Service, and yet nothing was done. It just makes you shake your head. So, you know, if you follow the timeline, it was after this that suddenly they put the screws to Biden, you know, to get out of the race. Now I'm not going anywhere with that, but you just are like, it doesn't take. How does this break down? I don't know. Doesn't cut it, right?
Exactly.
So, got a lot of questions, and hopefully there'll be answers, because, you know, I'll tell you, I think a lot of people, if the answers lead somewhere where you don't want them to lead, or they don't want it to be found out, and the public gets pissed, it could affect the election. You know, this is information that should be out there before the election is voted on, and voting, I believe, starts in like as little as 60 days, depending on how early. We know we have 30 days in Ohio. Maybe it's 45 early, but
yeah, I can't remember.
I can't remember because it's a long way. And you know, school starts back up here in the next week or two, and people are going to get busy. And before you know it, it's going to be time to vote. And I think this is information that, you know, if this was, and let's just preface it with if this was more than just a simple oversight.
Harriet Pappas liked it.
Hey,
on Facebook.
she's on. My mom's on.
She nailed it.
Yeah, show Dad how to use it, because the message we got implied that he didn't know how to use it. A couple of F-bombs in there, but
it fits right in with the podcast.
Here's the deal: like if the answer is something other than, you know, we just messed up, right? Then I think the American public deserves to know that, whether it was or wasn't, and we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not speculating because I have no knowledge, and I don't want to spread any dumb rumor conspiracies, but let's get some answers. I mean, it's we don't need to reinvent the wheel here. Let's go through the communications. Let's see. Obviously, that police officer should be interviewed and say, who did you tell, and when did you tell him, and who did you know? And
yeah,
but there's a lot of really very important questions that I think the American public deserves to know, because, as I said, this event happened. A man lost his life at the event, a father, and you know, he's dead, and the public moves on. So now we're talking, you know, we've moved on past that, I guess, because our attention span in today's digital world is 2 nanoseconds.
Oh yeah, and you know, once that news cycle changes, then it's on to the next thing,
and then
we don't follow up.
We don't follow up. We forget about it, and then in a very short period of time, the Democrats are going to have their love fest aided and abetted by a willing and complicit media in Chicago, unless there's, you know, riots in the street, because we did see that Kamala at one of her events had some hecklers that were pro-Palestinian, and she gave them the Vulcan death look. She really did. And that's as close to any type of interaction that the public's had with Kamala Harris since she booted Uncle Joe out the door.
And I'm not beating up the Secret Service. I'm not trying to. I want answers, just like as you're saying. I want answers, but also when they're not being painted in a good light right now. And when I saw this article, and I'm not going to Secret Service has to
yeah.
apologize after breaking into a Massachusetts salon to use the bathroom before a Harris
Dude, they
fundraiser.
had to go. I mean, when you got to go, you got to go.
So,
They have video?
yeah.
Yeah, I thought we had video. I got to go potty.
So the owner of this salon, this is a Ring camera.
Right.
And she's getting notifications. She closed for the day, knowing that fundraiser was happening and whatnot. And oftentimes in the article reads, and I've seen this when we've had candidates come through when I worked where I used to work. You have these relationships with the business owners.
Yeah. Tell them what's happening.
But this Secret Service agent, and it's been verified that she's a Secret Service agent. You could tell by the way she's dressed, but that it's a female. But
She's not the one that couldn't holster a weapon at the time.
I don't know. She doesn't have the stature. Doesn't look like a no, they put a piece of duct tape over the fucking camera.
Yeah, we don't like to look at what we're doing. What was the logic behind that?
So they put tape over the camera. They picked the lock, and they were in there for over 2 hours.
They had to go to the bathroom.
People coming in and out. So like you could see the timestamps.
Man, they had it. I mean, maybe they had to get a little trim.
A little shampoo.
Maybe they weren't feeling fresh.
They needed a shampoo.
It's unbelievable.
So I'm gonna skip forward a little bit,
but yet another example. Did they take the duct tape off when
No.
they left? They just left it on there.
They left it on and left it unlocked. So this lady ends up getting an apology.
Oh, that's all
from the Boston field office of the Secret Service. Gets an apology, and the Secret Service was kind of backtracking, saying, we don't just go take over places. Well, you absolutely fucking did.
Actually, you do. So
you did.
You think they'd be on their best behavior, right?
So I found that one amusing, just with getting the body cam footage.
I wonder what gives them. I mean, here's a question for the legal beagles out there. I mean, what gives them the right to come into your business? And they could sweep your business, I guess. I mean, I don't know if that's even accurate. Maybe they can, maybe they can't, but they could probably sweep your business, I suppose. But, you have the right to quiet enjoyment. What if that was your house? I mean,
right.
Could they just come into your house and use the potty?
The potty.
Had to go potty.
You sound like Jill. Jill's like, I got to go potty.
I got to go potty. Well, what would you prefer? I mean, really?
I got to go piss. I got to take a shit.
I understand that.
Whatever.
But I mean, this is a family program.
Yeah, definitely.
You saw my dad's language.
It's just it's a shame that the institutions that we have grown up trusting and knowing,
no question.
Now you have, obviously an oversight in an assassination attempt, breaking and entering. I mean, it's I don't know where to go, like what to believe, who to trust.
And I think that's I think that's by design. I really do. I think that this breakdown in trust of institutions, public institutions, private institutions, do you trust banks? Do you trust whomever? And I think that making us a very, very untrusting and pessimistic society is not good overall for our country. I think that we need to have those things that we trust and believe in, and without that, we're kind of lost.
Yeah. And
I'm not a fan of obviously. I would like to hear other than sorry. I mean, maybe another, right. I mean, hey, I'm sorry I broke in. Could you get Charmin next time? Because that single ply ain't cutting
that John Wayne paper you have is terrible.
Rough and tough. It doesn't take shit off ain't nobody. John Wayne toilet paper.
A-Town Natty, I have not seen that. So the comments. So did anyone see where the Secret Service agent who couldn't holster a weapon when Trump was shot is reported to be on the detail with Vance?
I have seen. I
was not aware.
I have seen that picture. I believe when Vance was it Michigan, where he went up to Kamala's plane and kind of heckled her when she's going to have. I think it was Michigan. They were having dueling rallies, and I've seen where it was the same agent, and I kind of was like, oh shit.
Uh-oh.
I hope, yeah, because she couldn't even holster her weapon, which is probably like one of the first things you got to do.
You're probably, that's probably within the first 2 weeks. I would imagine you're
take
probably
it out, put it in, the whole 9 yards. We won't even get on the shooting it, right? We won't talk about that. That was Ben Stiller.
Yeah, I got that too.
So, let's just hope that a society, somehow we reestablish trust in some of these institutions, because I really think it does not. Like I said, I just think we're going in a bad place. I did see, I've seen, as you have, I've seen lots of reports about deep fakes as far as crowd sizes and pictures of AI being used to doctor some of the Kamala crowd sizes and events. I think you've seen it as well, right? And it just shows, again, rather than spread, I'm not here to say that's happening. I'm not here to say it's not happening. I'm here to say there's a lot of chatter online about it and a lot of photographs provided as proof of it. But like we talked about, I don't know what you can and can't believe, because everything digital can be manipulated. And when you have,
unless you're there, unless you're physically there to see it.
But
I mean, like you being at the RNC convention, you laid eyes on it and knew what it was.
Yeah. But but people watching it didn't know.
Right.
But my point is that, look, as we distrust more and more and more, again, that feeds into, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy almost, that you trust nothing unless you see it with your own eyes. And then can you really trust what you're seeing?
Oh yeah.
What are we going to do?
And then
it's like we're in the Matrix.
How can you be everywhere?
Are you Neo? Or is it Neil? I couldn't remember.
Neil.
Are you Neil?
Neo.
Oh yeah, it's Neil. I watched it like 4 times.
Yeah, my name is Neil.
I thought the dude's name was Neil the first couple times I watched it. I couldn't hear. I was like, why is he have a normal name and everyone else is weird? It got Morpheus and Neil. Makes no sense.
Yeah. He's some truck driver.
Did you see? Speaking of, let's segue this away.
Yeah, which way?
We'll see which way we go. I tried. We as you can tell, we have a very rigid outline with this program. Did everybody see where the scuttlebutt now is? Kamala is drawing huge rallies, and I saw, we're going to play a clip here. That's
the one, right?
Yeah, that's it. And Kamala, she you got to listen to this. I don't even know how to cue this up, but I just want to cue this up for the listeners and have you guys watch this and tell me, kind of what you think, and I'll tell you what we think on the flip side. Unmute.
Stand by.
Unmute. Use some technical difficulties.
Eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips.
June 9th,
people
24,
making tips.
In Vegas.
Eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Now, could you show the
Because
other
when I
thing
get to
about
office,
the
we are
under her
going to
administration, what Biden-Harris administration proposed for the IRS? You got that handy?
Is that one?
No, that's not that one. That's another one. We'll
I may not have that one.
So they actually
Sorry.
I'm sorry that I sent it to you. I should have just provided it myself. But the Biden-Harris administration actually proposed an IRS crackdown on tips for wage earners. So they want to make sure they didn't miss any taxes on there. It's absolutely puzzling to me how in the world the public, what they're doing publicly now, this rebirth, like they're pretending like Kamala Harris has not even been vice president for going on 4 years.
Right.
Like she's been, she wasn't the border czar. She just got to DC. She hasn't been there for 4 years.
She has no idea how things have been running
everything up. And it's just, I don't know. At some point, is the public really going to fall for this? That's my question. I call it, this is like the great swindle, the great switch, whatever you want to call it. But they sit there and they pretend like for some reason, this is her thinking now, when during her whole administration, when the Democrats wanted to kick her out about a year ago because she was so just reviled by everyone in the administration. Now she's the second coming of Christ, and it's highly annoying, and it's got to drive. It drives me crazy. I can only imagine that it drives, John Q. Public, at least a lot of people, crazy, because, how in the world are we going to know what to believe, and how do we make an informed decision when what we're seeing isn't true?
Right.
Here's the deal from Fox News, from Thomas Use your words. All right, you pronounce his last name. Kentanatisi? Kanatsi? Thomas C. Thomas C. writes for Fox News. I don't have the date. Oh, it's actually published February 7th, 2023. Biden's IRS plans to crack down on waiters' tips. So how do you square that with what Kamala just did? I mean, but yay, everyone's going to be at their rally. All the computer generated people are going to be waving their signs and their flags. And I mean, you just shake your head. Free and fair elections. I mean, we provide in this country for free and fair elections. Well, doesn't misinformation like that kind of fall under, where's the press holding her to account?
Right.
Ms. Harris, can I ask you a follow-up question?
Follow-up. Weird.
Hey, Ms. Harris, just a follow-up question. You've been in office for 4 years. Have you ever proposed this before? No.
Right.
This report about Joe Biden's IRS trying to crack down on waiters' tips from, again, February 7th, 2023. How do you square that with your newfound opinion that you're copying directly from Donald J. Trump? At least give the man credit. Why doesn't she say, you know what, Donald Trump's right? But no, they're not going to do that. And it's frustrating because that's part of the media buy-in with this campaign. The media has gone in whole barrel for the Kamala team because they hate Trump. And sadly, a lot of people out there, think that this is a big reset with Kamala. But, guys, I just want to let you know, I'm not freaking. I'm just trying to call it out because I think a lot of people are shouting from the rooftops. There is no change here. This is the same old thing that we've had with Joe Biden.
Same administration.
It's a different puppet. You know what I mean? Same strings, different puppet. And, for example, we're going to click on the next story here. We hear from Democrats all the time how if you dare ask for an ID when you vote, that's racist, misogynistic, blah 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 blah, everything other istic that there can be. Share that story for her rally in Arizona. I mean, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, let's show the folks what happened in Arizona that you may not be aware of. So to go to a Kamala Harris event, right? Guess what you need? An ID.
Are they ones that they just give you, or are they legitimate IDs?
I couldn't tell you, but I thought that only Republicans were the ones that were the racist, misogynists. What are the other ists out there? Homophobicists. There's a lot of lisping going on, but
sounded like me last night. Jesus.
Yeah, I got the text. I just really, I'm shaking my head because, again, and I have a media expert that likes to stalk my Facebook page, and he likes to correct me, or try to, at least, for his. He on his profile says that he's fiercely independent. Where is the fiercely independent media? I mean, nobody is reporting this, and no one. To best of my knowledge, it's been now, what count are we up to? We should have a big clock. Are we on like 24 days?
We should have.
I think it's like 24 days. It's close because it was like 13 or 17 last time. It's been a week, 5 days, 20. So anyway, it's over 20 something days, right?
Yeah.
And she has yet to have a press conference. Now, they made an announcement that she's going to have a press conference at some point in the future coming up here. But why would she? She's being aided and abetted by a willing media that's carrying her water, and no wonder the polls are going up and tightening in some of these states. Do
you notice though? Like I don't trust any of the polls. I don't hang my hat on those.
No, well,
but as it gets closer, it doesn't matter.
No,
whether Joe stepped down and she stepped in, a little bit late,
right?
Well,
it wasn't late. It was last minute, but more than ideal. It was before their convention. After their convention, their goose was cooked. They couldn't do it.
But you have
And no
all
one's
these
voted.
polls in every election. You know, the closer it gets, the closer the poll is. Oh, it's too close to call. It's too close to call. They're all horseshit.
These people. If you first of all, if you have your homepage set as like MSN or whatever it is, you'll literally wrap the mouse cord around your neck, because it's just filled with nothing but drivel. And yeah, they it's close, and oh my God, she's overtaken him, and blah blah blah. Well, you know what? I think the guy that's probably the most frustrated right now, and think about it from a human perspective, Donald Trump, okay, secured the nomination to the Republican Party. It wasn't very hard. Let's be honest. It was pretty easy, but it had some bruising and battering, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had some mean things said, and there was some division amongst Republicans, but that's what happens in primaries. And now they've come together, and they're all pulling in the same direction. So then he gets out of the primary. He mends fences. I wish he would mend all the fences, and we could talk about that at some time. But I wish he would remember who to attack and who to be. I know he holds grudges, but and I'm speaking like Kemp in Georgia. But we should remember. He's now sitting there watching this, and he's like, God, I've got to fight now. They've taken Joe out of the equation. I was beating him badly. Okay.
Right.
He feels in his head that the last election was stolen from him. And he kind of probably thinks that this election right now is about to be stolen from him yet again, because they've taken his opponent that he prepared for, annihilated at the first debate, that everyone said was cognizant and lucid, and he wasn't. Matter of fact, I don't know if we have a picture of what he did the last weekend, but he was just prone on the beach. The world's still spinning, and the world's on the brink of war, but Joe Biden was sleeping on the beach in Delaware.
He's on his paid vacation now for the remainder of his time. He's
Jesus.
burning all his sick time, Andrew.
Yeah, he's got to catch up. But I mean, so we're sitting there, and Donald Trump's got to be just frothing at the mouth, because the man's not known for being, probably the most patient person. I mean, I think we make that I don't know him personally, but just doesn't seem like he's probably like, Jesus, what do I got to do to get a fair shake here? And I think he's probably frustrated. But, I would like all the Republicans and conservatives to remember that, look, it's still very, very early. And we do, time is getting close, but it is early, but we have time for you to make a difference. And, you get out there, you walk your neighborhood. The Democrats are going to do it. They're not giving up. Democrats never, ever give up on their own. I'd be interested to see what happens in Chicago. I'd like to see what the outside of the convention is going to be. They
don't give up on their own, but they eat their own.
Well, sometimes they do. But so now as we discussed with the and the stories coming out about the story. I don't like to spread rumors, but did you see some of the stories about her vice president?
Oh yeah. He's a trash can.
Well, I meant
he is a trash can.
Well, I mean, we were talking before about his inaction during the riots, right? Because they had just announced him before their last show. So we were discussing, and it was coming out, and I was wrong. I thought it was going to be Shapiro, but to placate her Israeli hating base, she had to pick somebody that was other than Jewish. And so they did not pick him, although he's far more qualified than this guy. But this guy, Walz, I mean, there's some really weird stories going around the internet. I mean, I didn't know he was an equestrian. So, I mean, I don't want to spread any rumors, but apparently the guy likes horses a lot. I mean,
I saw
a whole lot.
I saw one snippet, and I couldn't even go delve any further.
I'm not saying it's true, and I'm not saying it's not true, because like we talked about, I don't know what's true on the internet anymore. I did see a picture of a paper, and it looked to be real. I would like some investigative reporter maybe to get to the hospital that apparently occurred at, and see if they have forms going back that far to see who was admitted for really liking horses.
Well, it's funny because I sat in this past Wednesday. I sat in on Last Call on Failure to Stop, and before we started live, I said I had to look him up because I couldn't
didn't know anything about him.
I couldn't remember who he was, and then when I heard that he was governor of Minnesota, I'm like, okay, I do remember him from, with the riots and all that shit.
Right.
And Eric he had pulled up the same article that I had. It's like there were like 55 points about walls.
Yeah.
And it was, oh, he likes to do the all you can drink milk thing at
it wasn't milk
at the fucking Minnesota State Fair, like stupid
milk.
shit. But then it was all right. Well, then he's backed by the NRA, and then all of a sudden now he's got an F rating with the NRA because he was anti-gun. Like he's a piece of work. That's
sure. He's just. I want people to understand he's left of left. I mean, he's way left of any other governor. And I think the part I find most egregious, other than his equestrian abilities, that's probably driving somebody nuts, right?
Oh, I know.
So here's the deal. He boasted, his administration set up a snitch line for you to report your neighbors that were, and I had the audio of that. I should have sent it, but there was an audio that, that's it. That's the story right there.
Oh my God.
Wilbur. Maybe he watched a lot of Mr. Ed as a kid.
I'm definitely not.
You're not sharing that.
I'm not trusting this fucking
this
website.
I'm just telling you, but the stories are out there.
I know.
It's not even, it's like, but anyway,
it's still funny to see.
It's hilarious to see what we're talking about. But
stomach pump after over ingesting horse semen.
Well, and that doesn't even get into let's
getting into politics is fucking crazy.
Well, first of all,
they're gonna make all kinds of shit up about you. And you know this.
Look, let's talk about the facts. We'll leave his love for horses aside for a second, his deep love, and we'll talk about the facts. The simple fact of the matter is that the Harris administration has had to scrub their own website that referred to his service in the National Guard. And there are many veterans now, as you know. I'm friends with a lot of veterans. I am not a veteran. Let's get that out there first and foremost. But I support a lot of veteran causes, and I work with a lot of great veterans with both Honor Flight and a Yellow Ribbon Support Center. And a lot of my friends are veterans, and they're, I've gotten very close with some of them. And the point of the matter is the ones that I have spoken to, a man and woman, are very pissed off that this guy represented himself as something other than he was. And that did have to be addressed by the Harris administration. They had to walk back his accomplishments during the Guard. And even I saw today, there was a story that was, at least I saw today, I don't know when it was dated, that his platoon or his unit chaplain expressed disgust with how he quit his command or quit his unit. But once he found out they were going to be deployed, that's not for me to judge. I'm just telling what this guy was. And so when you have my point of mentioning that is this is a chaplain. This wasn't just a guy. This is a chaplain that is in the forgiveness business. And he apparently wasn't too enthralled with forgiving the guy for his actions during his involvement with the Guard. I did see that the left was trying to then somehow equate this and try to attack J.D. Vance's service. Well, there's no comparison between the two.
No,
none. And I find it hilarious that they were going to go down that road. I think they saw this guy was a veteran. I don't think they vetted him very well. I think now that they're saddled with him, some people were speculating that perhaps she would try to jettison him after this information came out because they don't like to correct things. All right. They don't like to say they got it wrong.
Right.
And
if they do, it's all the way at the bottom on like page 18.
Oh yeah, well they do this stuff in the middle of the night where they they go and they hope no one's looking at the website and they like the cursor appears in like backspace. It's like
and they're like, look at
it
now.
It's not there. It never happened. But you can do the Wayback Time Machine and saw where it was. So he is his wife, for example, as we discussed, she liked to leave the window open. During the fires that consumed their cities. He waited damn near a week before he called in the National Guard to quell the violence. Minnesota is by every matrix under his leadership is losing.
His daughter giving the whereabouts of the National Guard. So
his
that
daughter
way people
alerting the protesters where the National Guard was. That is a fact. And like I said, he set up a snitch line. He was one of the COVID people. He put much like Gretchen Whitmer did. He put a lot of elderly people COVID positive in nursing homes. Okay, or a lot of people that were COVID positive in nursing homes, causing a lot of really unnecessary deaths. And Gretchen Whitmer did the same thing. And we didn't even mention. I'm sorry. Thanks, guys. You guys are on top of stuff.
He was getting pegged. He couldn't call the National Guard. I love Falk.
So here's and his big accomplishment was he was very proud of putting tampons in the boys' restrooms. I don't understand that. That's not only Midwest, what we like to call in the Midwest values. Okay, that's not Midwest values. That's not American values. And getting to American values, why don't we show the video that we have of a one of the Democrat supporters and just listen in on what you're. Tell me you didn't get it.
You want that one?
That's the one I want.
Okay.
This is why I want to go to Chicago. I'd love to walk around the concourse of Chicago. I think it's going to be filled with a whole lot of this. And I just want you to see while you're sitting there debating who you're going to vote for, because honestly, Kamala is not a fresh choice. She's not a new choice. She's Joe Biden part 2. She was his vice president for 4 years. She's done nothing. She has accomplished nothing as vice president. You could ask 10 people what her top 5 accomplishments are. They probably couldn't name one, but I'd like to see a whole stadium full of people just like this.
Why are y'all voting for Kamala Harris?
I don't want to lose my rights. Like, I am a trans man and I'm gay and I have been pregnant and I've had an abortion before and I don't want to lose that. I'm afraid of not being able to be myself anymore because from what I've heard, Trump's America doesn't want me to look like this. So that's why I'm here today and that's why I'm voting blue.
What about you?
I've also been pregnant and had an abortion before. I was a minor and it would have been dangerous for me to properly, it would have been dangerous for me to carry a baby with personal reasons and everything. I also I'm very, alternative, and I feel like if Trump were to win, I wouldn't be able to express myself through my looks and everything, and wouldn't be able to have the piercings or the dyed hair or the tattoos that I want. I would be able to be myself. And my dad's very pro-Trump, and I'm just very
Pro-Kamala.
pro-Kamala. Yeah, I don't,
Yeah.
Does that cause a divide at all?
Yeah, it definitely does. He thinks that Kamala's going to ruin the country, but I think that Trump would do worse, a lot. Kamala is going to be good for the country.
What the fuck?
I got nothing. I mean,
I know your parents are watching.
My parents
and
are
they don't know me.
My parents are in their 80s, and
I hope they don't judge me. But who fucked her? First, both of them.
Sorry, Mom.
First and foremost. 2, this is the dumb shit.
This is the Democrat Party. This is a component of the Democrat Party that when people sit there, when your average, voter is going to align themselves with these people. And, you cannot argue the fact that the Democrat placates their base. They always have their radical base. Kamala has done it with her choice for vice president because she didn't want to upset the pro-Palestinian people. And need we go down the list of Joe Biden's appointments just based on gender or sexual orientation or how far out there they are in the world of transgenderism, just to show them as being, to put them on a pedestal per se? Do we need to talk about the person that was invited to his to the Rose Garden or to the White House and then bared their breasts? Remember that one at the Easter deal? These are things that I just don't think that.
I want to hit this real quick. Elizabeth Robinson and Jill and I, before we went on, I showed her that video. Trump won't care what the fuck you wear. Look what you look like or how many piercings or tats you have. This is the sickness that these people think that the commander in chief has control over. If you have 18 piercings in your face and 19 tattoos and whatever, he doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give shit.
Doesn't give
And
a
the,
shit.
the other thing is that they mentioned
But these are people that are going to fucking vote.
Well, these people have the same number of votes as you and I do, which kind of makes you shake your head.
Yeah.
But whatever, that's a system we're under. And the other thing is this:
David J said, "Make mental asylums great again."
I mean, that's the one thing Reagan did wrong. Reagan closed the mental institutions, and that was a big mistake. We threw those people on the street, and that caused a lot of homelessness. But here's the deal: they mentioned they don't bring up the fact that Trump returned the question of abortion to the states where it really should rest. Okay, that's what Ruth Bader Ginsburg thought as well. She thought that was bad law, and God, no one mentions the fact that she knew that would be overturned. But the point of the matter is that are you aware that since that's been returned to the states, the number of abortions in this country has actually gone up? Did you know that?
I heard,
and they mention this stuff like oh, I got pregnant and had an abortion. Like that's some sort of badge of honor. I mean, I'm sorry. I wouldn't be crowing. That's not an accomplishment. Right. It's not a resume enhancer. It's something that, look, is very personal, and I'm not going to get into, but you're not going to get me. Hey, what's your accomplishments here? Well, I was in the 4-H club and I've had 4 abortions. Oh yeah. Well, come on in. Hey, sign her up.
You could be the commissioner of the 4-H club now.
It's just like it's crazy land with what we in. And I want people to understand, you are voting for this. This is the administration that will push and normalize this type of behavior. This is the type of stuff that the now modern Democrat Party is part and parcel in bed with. And get away from personalities, folks. I mean, we talked about. I sent Jason a couple things. I don't know if he had time to pull them up because God knows he's very busy. Should we get into the weekend a little bit? Should we talk about that?
We definitely will.
Which I'm still pissed at you.
I know.
Because I've been applying bleach to my eyes all weekend.
I'm pissed at you every day.
Well, yeah, but I don't send you the pictures that I get. And why you think that calling me at 10 o'clock at night is a good idea, I don't understand. Guys, I go to bed like at 9:30.
It was a bet.
It was a bet. Is he going to answer the phone?
Look, who's he going to answer?
Neither. Don't call me at 10 o'clock at night.
And our friend said if he picks up on yours, I'm going to be pissed.
So August 31st, 2020, okay, gas prices were $2.23, and that was actually high. That had jumped up because of a hurricane in the Gulf, and it was expected to go back down. That was
little faith.
This is part of what electing Donald Trump would do. He would push for American independence based upon drilling. And when you provide cheap, this country runs on energy, folks. It runs on cheap energy. And that's what capitalism and the United States needs. We have the ability, we have the resources here. Who would you prefer to drill for oil? Do you think they do it cleaner in other countries? Do you think they have the environmental regulations that we do? Right. They do not. We have the technology to do it well. We have the technology to do it clean. We have the resources here. We could be supplying natural gas, which is one of our greatest resources, and Europe needs just exponentially. Why do you think they bombed the Nord Stream pipeline? Why do you think that was destroyed?
Exactly. Guys,
We could be the Saudi Arabia of natural gas, and we have it here, and everyone wins. And I don't understand, this rush to electric that we discussed. That electric cars are cool. There's some cool models out there. I'm not going to lie to you. However, the grid is overloaded. We do not have the capacity to distribute this energy, and we can't have this surge in demand when we're not ready for it. And what are you going to power these? Where are you going to get the electricity from? When you ask, I love asking people, and I have some friends that have electric cars, and you're like, so where's the power come from? They give you that goat-eyed look. They're like, well, from the plug.
Right.
Well, yeah, I got that. But where's the power coming from? Oh, it's from that big plant over there. So, you're just basically.
It's that big diesel generator that's fucking running.
Look,
me and Dan Carroll hate this.
I just hate the fact that we're subsidizing this. We're picking winners and losers. We're pushing Americans. The government does not do things well. They never have. And I don't like the government making our choices in automotive and electric and, where we're getting our electric from, where we're getting, what type of cars you have to drive, what kind of house you live in, where you set your damn thermostat. We should be This is not what makes this country great. And I wish people would wake up and understand that this election is going to decide the direction of this country for a lot of years to come. So, yeah, I'm gonna beat my horse about horse reference. Sorry there, Wilbur.
Oopsie.
But I mean, listen, if you're fed up and if you think it's time to get up and make a difference, I humbly, unless you're a Democrat, just continue to sit on the couch. But I humbly ask that you get involved with your local Republican Party and see how you can volunteer to help out with this election coming up. And yes, I'm a Republican. There's no bones about it. I'm not hiding it. I'm not one of these people that claims I'm fiercely independent and not, like some members of the media are. We just need to get involved and get engaged, because I'll guarantee you the Democrats are walking neighborhoods now.
Oh, yeah.
And people that you saw on that video are out walking neighborhoods now. You know, that she's
somebody like that show up to my front door. I fucking dare you.
Well, you know why she's going to show up to your front door? I'll tell you why she's going to want, because I've had it happen here locally. I've heard from a couple people. So she's going to walk up to your front door, and she's not going to ask for you. But if you had a child that was about to turn voting age, they were going to ask for that child, and they were going to try to contact that child because they got the list off of the BOE site, and they know that so-and-so is about to be 18 or whatever the age is. Is 18 here? I think it is. And they're going to sit there and try to convert them to their way of thinking. And I mean, that Republicans, look, we like, as I love Trump supporters. I love people's emotions. I love people's energy and enthusiasm. I love their ability and their desire to show support for their candidate, whether it be yard signs or bumper stickers or whatever. I've got all 3 plus, but
which I need a sign, by the way.
Oh, I should have brought you one.
I'll get it.
All right. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
It's a little early yet, but here's the deal. It's not enough to take the yard sign. And I'm going to chastise everybody out there. It's not enough to take the yard sign of the bumper sticker, put on your car and be like, there, I did my part. Because what's going to require is you, like we talked about before, you got to talk to your neighbors. You got to maybe become a street captain and walk your street. I mean, if you don't want to walk your neighborhood, I get that. But, if we had 5 street captains in a neighborhood, we could probably cover a neighborhood. So get involved, get engaged. Join your local Republican club, or just ask or call down to the BOE and say, Board of Elections in whatever county in this country that you live at, and say, how can I get involved? It takes money. Yeah, sure. It takes money. But if you don't have money, guess what else it takes? It takes effort. It takes energy. It takes walking. It takes you. It takes bodies. And all the TVs and the ads in the world can do a lot of good. But guess what works even better sometimes? That knock at the door where you're leaving a pamphlet for somebody. And one of the most important races that we have coming up here locally, as we discussed before, because was my store. What did we talk about last time? Did the store get broken into?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
I saw your post.
Yeah. So anyway, one of the most important races we have coming up here locally is actually the prosecutor's race, and Missy Powers. And we're going to try to get her on here in the next couple of weeks, or maybe one of her campaign folks. But here's the deal. So I was, where was I? Friday, I was somewhere. I was doing something. And my old manager called me up, and he's like, hey, store got robbed last night. Okay. This is Hyde Park.
Oh, your other.
Yeah. My old store.
Your other location.
Yeah. Well, the Hyde Park location, because the other one's gone.
Yeah.
Don't you know there's a KFC there?
Yeah.
The chicken capital of the world.
I know.
It's Josh Girth's fault. But anyway, so I was pushing for Panda Express because I'm kind of partial to Panda Express.
Oh, I do like Panda Express.
Panda Express. Oh, jeez, driving 60 miles an hour with an egg roll in your hand, some sweet and sour. Jesus. Anyhow, so the deal is that this is a busy street in a very how would you describe Hyde Park? Like the
affluent.
Well, it's affluent, but it's also like the kitschy kind of, the yuppies, metros, it's a nice part of Cincinnati. It's like one of the more desirable neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I would agree with that.
In the city, I'm talking in the city proper of Cincinnati, it is probably one of the more desirable neighborhoods to live in. So 2 o'clock in the morning, dude takes a crowbar, he's walking down the street, 2 o'clock in the morning, very busy street. The front door is literally probably no more than, there's only one very small parking lot because everything's small.
It's probably 15 yards off the street.
It's maybe 20. And so this is an Erie Avenue is a busy street. You're well familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
The place has soffit lights. So the guy's not in the dark. It's lit, right? Takes a crowbar, sticks it in the door, the aluminum door, rips the door open, then goes to the back, takes the crowbar, beats the bat piss out of the alarm panel, turns it off, right? And then he's walking around the store for a couple hours. He rips the cash drawers out. Okay, takes those, rips those out, takes them, throws them in the car. There was a safe, a steel safe that was probably about 4 feet high, 3 feet high, double up and down safe. He pried that out because they had, they had lag bolts in there, but who knew that someone was going to, have a few hours to chew on them. Got the safe, used the dolly that was at the store. So there was a dolly sitting there to unload supplies. He's like, oh, hey, thanks. Carts this thing to his car. The camera, then he goes out of frame. I don't know how the hell this guy lifted the safe up into the car, and it had to bottom out the car when he's driving down and drove away. And so here's the business owner, my manager calls me up the next day. He's like, hey, do you know a door guy? I'm like, hey, what's up? He goes, well, we got broken into last night. I was like, shit, I'll come over. So I go bebopping over there, and I was able to repair the door. These are probably about $2,000 doors. They're aluminum. I was able to reinforce it, repair it, kind of rebuild it with steel and get it to where he could lock up, did the lock again. But my point is, in mentioning this, is this criminal, if and when he's caught, and God help that he does not end up in Judge Silverstein's court, because we have report after report after report of how weak on crime and criminal she is with no,
it's fine. Don't do it again.
Oh no, just come on back. Oh, your hearings next week, but we're not going to have any bond for you. You just agree to come back. I mean, one guy was released $500 and he was charged with choking somebody. So the point of the matter is that the most important race coming up in Hamilton County is going to be the Missy Powers race coming up for prosecutor. And you've seen what happens in these other cities when they lose control of the prosecutor's office. LA, some of these big cities, crime just goes skyrocketing up because there's no deterrence to the criminals.
Do you know who the FOP's endorsing?
I don't. I know who the FOP endorsed in the congressional race in that district, and I was kind of shocked at it that they endorsed the Democrat. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want to give him free airtime.
GL.
Yeah. When Orlando Sanza is a far superior candidate.
I was shocked by that as well.
But I don't know who the FOP is going to endorse. I would like to think that they're going to have some common sense, but there's a lot of things that go in those decisions that I'm not privy to. I remember when I interviewed with them when I was doing the commissioner gig, they were all hilarious and I liked them a lot, but I was like, I know you guys ain't going to choose me. It's like I was joking around with them. I was like, so, two guys walking to a bar. I was telling jokes because I was like, there's no way, I was running against Todd Portune. There's no way they were going to choose me. But they were very nice, but I don't understand why they decided to go with GL versus Sansa. And I hope they have the insight and at least honesty to pick the far superior candidate in Missy Powers for prosecutor. So we do have a lot of races coming up. November will be here before you know it. You start voting in October.
It's amazing. I mean, we're almost halfway through August.
Yeah, we're halfway through August.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah, we're almost halfway through August, and the Democrat convention is going to take up a lot of oxygen in the room next week. We should go there and sell like bats.
If we had more money, in one more Out of Here account, we would send you. But I can't do that.
Well, I could go on my own. Just someone get me. If you have, I'll put the callers out there, the listeners. If you have access to credentials to get into the Democrat thing, just for one day, I will go incognito to Chicago and I will do an on-air live reporting from Chicago.
I love it.
Is that going to be awesome?
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
And then my line would go dead. I may not find my body,
right?
But
like Andrew was a good man,
and I'd probably need a tetanus shot before I went, but because God knows what I'm going to catch there.
My buddy Ryan Lay said they endorse Powers.
Oh, good. Well, thank you. And that's just an easy call.
Thank you, sir.
Look, this is up and down the line. So we have a lot of races coming up. And like I said, it's going to take everyone doing their job and getting a little more involved. Get out of your comfort zone. Become a little bit more involved. And I'm not saying, for example, my wife won't drive in my car because I have so many. Shocker, right?
Fucking billboard.
It's a little much.
I like it. I like it.
I like it too, but I mean, it's a little much and it's more than most people. But that's not enough. And my car's more than most. Putting the billboard, putting the signs on your car, it's not enough. We have to match them for effort because they have. I think there's fewer of them, but I think they're more committed. When I think of Democrats, I think there's fewer of them. I think that they're just a little bit more committed because cats don't require that much effort. So you just leave a big bag of food out for your 35 cats that are in your house. God, that's going to piss them off so bad.
I love it.
That's what JD Vance thinks.
Jill Billy said it's a rolling Trumpmobile.
It's not that. I mean, it's fun for me because
no, it's good.
I know it's good, but you got to be in it when people are behind you at the light and they're looking at that big sticker on the back and they're like, "Oh, Jesus!"
Before he leaves, I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna put it on our Instagram page so everybody can see it.
It's the greatest picture ever made. It's just so great. So, but also, I don't know. Have we gotten a whole lot of? We're trying to involve the crowd here. So, I mean, have we gotten a whole lot of? You guys make sure you bang on Jason and tell him what you want us to talk about. What subjects you guys find interesting. I know we like to do local stuff. Locally, blah, 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 this next election, locally Anderson Township, we're going to have there will be yet another park levy on the ballot. There's going to be probably a public safety levy for fire and police. What else are we talking about? Oh, we haven't even mentioned the issue. It's going to be issue 1 here in Ohio about redistricting, which is nothing more than gerrymandering for the Democrats.
Well, yeah.
And here's the problem with that little fiasco. So there's like a national effort. They're pumping millions of dollars into Ohio because we have a very easy to amend, stupidly constitution that was never changed to make it a little bit harder. It's 50 plus 1 vote to change the constitution. And,
that was something before Herking got sick.
Yeah,
that was something that we were hammering on because how stupid that you haven't changed that to make it it shouldn't be that easy.
No, it shouldn't be. And this, I love how when Democrats or party is doing something, it's all cool, right? It's okay. So if they were in charge and they were drawing district lines, that's okay. Because we're noble and we're good. But if Republicans are involved, it's bad. It's gerrymandering. We have to end it. So I'm not that with the outside money. The reason I bring it up. So there's a lot of out of state, out of country money. There's a lot of money coming from overseas that's been shown that is going to pump ads on that. And there's no real organized. Sadly, I hate to say it. I know the governor is going to mount a campaign against it, but. Man, there's a lot of money that's going to be coming down on that side of the issue, and I hope folks educate themselves and don't vote for gerrymandering on the Democrat side.
Jill said you should take a pic of you in your Trumpomania shirt. Next year, Card said to Trump's campaign, you could end up on his website.
Well, I do have a Trumpomania shirt that I made that is a little bit special, and I was going to bring it tonight, but it was wrinkled. But that's an idea.
You didn't want to look frumpy?
Are you saying I'm frumpy now?
Well, yeah. Duh.
Well, this shirt, I'm kind of swolled up tonight, so this shirt's kind of tight.
And then Jill also said, she goes, I want you to talk about the photo quiz you got from Jason last night.
Oh, Jesus. So I'm sitting at my house.
This is how we're going to wind it up.
This is how we're going to wind it up here. Should I show him the picture? You want to show him the picture?
Yeah, we're good.
No, we're good?
Yeah. We're good.
Suddenly.
We're good.
Shy little boy.
Well, I'm still working.
Okay. Not for long.
I'm still working.
So I'm sitting at my house and they're peppering me with phone calls trying to see where you guys are like kids. He's going to answer my call. No, he's going to answer my call. So I'm like not answering anyone's call.
Stacy, whose house we were at, she goes, please no.
Please no. So I'm not going to say who was involved, because I'm going to protect the innocent. Not that anyone there was innocent, but let's just presume for a second that they were.
Just presume.
Presumptions. I get a picture. And how should I describe the picture? I mean, I don't want to be crass. And I don't want to hurt.
4 grown men, bare asses.
Yes. And it was pick out Jason's butt. And that's why I've been dropping eye bleach in my eye all day, trying to get that vision of, I'm not even sure whose buttocks. I was like, Lieutenant Dan.
Ice cream.
I'm like, why are you sending me this picture and why would I care? So you guys were having a good time. Was it what happens in Felicity stays in Felicity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We had a blast. We had a great time.
and then it
our
was
friend
followed up.
Stacy's in the chats who hosted us, and
Yes,
we
I'm
appreciate
sure it was a
the,
lot
the
of
weekend.
fun. But here's the deal. Then it was followed up with, you should come out. I'm like, yeah, that's going to be on the. I should call the Felicity Chamber of Commerce and be like, hey, I've got a great angle for you guys. This is what you need to do. This is put this picture on your billboard and let everybody knows what goes on in Felicity. But
just as many great ideas happen.
Guys drinking way too much,
way too much,
and having too good of a time. And I've deleted that picture, but I'm fairly certain now with this new surveillance system set up by the FBI, my phone is now flagged.
You are definitely flagged.
I'm definitely flagged.
And Stacy said, if only we had a chamber.
What it was? Is this? Oh, Stacy, maybe she can make a banner. Yeah. She's really good at that. Maybe she should make a banner for the road. I heard she's good at spelling the third.
No,
I think was that the wrong Stacy?
I think it might be.
Oh, okay, different Stacy. Sorry, I apologize if it's the wrong one. I remember there was a banner for some event out there that was mislabeled, but we all do stuff like that. So we'll be back next week. This week.
Yeah, we got to get our schedule.
Yeah. So this is. I will be back. I
know you're going out of town.
Don't say that out loud. This is public. I've got some things to do, and so
I've got important things.
I'm going undercover, but we'll be back. We can remote in if you want to do a Tuesday, or we could do Sunday. I'll be back in time, or we can push it to Monday. It just depends. I'll get with you on that. But trying to set up a somewhat, even though a lot of people do this podcast and you can watch it whenever and listen whenever, trying to get some normalcy set up to try to make sure that people can tune in and have fun on their Sunday nights. Oh, by the way, we should do a little quiz because I know it's tonight. So I'd like to ask the folks out there, maybe they could just reply if you're still on there. But so the closing ceremonies for the Olympics are tonight, right?
No.
So I'd like to know, so who's going to be ridiculed and, made fun of? What religious group? Do you think it's going to be A, the Muslims, B, the Buddhists, C, the Jews, or D, the Christians? And you can probably take a combination thereof and just, let us know in the chat so you see. Well, I guess we'll figure it out here because I don't know how much of the Olympics you've watched.
I'll make an Instagram poll.
Yeah, let's do the Instagram poll on Instagram because I have to be honest with you. I did catch. Have you watched the Olympics?
No.
You don't look like a big Olympic watcher because of the pictures I was getting from Felicity. But
sand volleyball.
Okay,
female sand volleyball.
Female sand volleyball. But I will tell you, I was walking by. I honestly have not been watching the Olympics. I support our athletes, but you know what? I can do it by watching their results. But man, watching these guys play table tennis is just like watching Forrest Gump. It was like these guys are just smacking the ball, and it's like bam, 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 bam. I'm like, whoa! So it's kind of interesting.
I like to think I'm decent at ping pong, but yeah,
not like that.
My hand-eye coordination.
You get hit with that ball, you're going down. Yeah. Things like you're having that ball removed.
I'll have a fucking eye patch.
Now I know you probably watched the breakdancing because that probably was more your.
Oh yeah, it's definitely more my speed.
I mean, that's a sport, breakdancing. I'd rather see cornhole. Some guy from the Midwest, some guy from Felicity wins the gold medal in cornhole.
350-pound truck driver again, just throwing bags. Throwing bags and killing hags.
The rest of the country goes, what is cornhole and why are you talking about it? It's a family show.
Well, everybody, we appreciate you tuning in.
We got a plug?
Huh?
Do we have a plug this show?
Yeah, not this one.
Oh, we're not plug. Yeah. So no plug.
No plug.
Sorry,
one.
Dan.
I'm waiting on a check from somebody.
Sorry, Dan.
His name may rhyme with Rick Barrick. I'm waiting on a check. Wow. So, and Dan's out of town, so he won't.
Dan is out of town. He is out of town.
He won't
I saw where he was traveling. So Dan, from what I understand, Dan was surprised in his travels that because he was. It's no secret, I guess, but Trump showed up kind of the same town he was, and he's like, "Oh my God, there's a ton of people here for one of his rallies." I'm like, "Yeah, duh, hello."
Open your eyes, fucker.
Have you ever been to one before? You got to get there like the morning of. Right. But let's see what happens this week. I mean, this is the build up to the DNC convention. I think like I said, if anyone can get me credentials, I'd love to just make a pop in.
I would love that for you.
I'd be like in I'd wear fake dreads and like an army jacket. And
fucking nose piercing.
Oh, that hurts. I can't do that.
Oh, you're tough.
No, I'm not
just
doing
said
it.
you're all swole.
I'm swole, but I'm not putting something through my nose. You're out of your mind. I'm also sane.
We will I'll get our schedule out. We'll figure it out as soon as we're off the air. We will get the schedule out, but stay tuned to the Instagram and the Facebooks. And we appreciate every one of you guys. Remember to hammer the like button, download the audio, and leave a 5-star rating and review. And we appreciate you. So we'll see you next time.
Out.
See ya.